Let's see how people actually join tonight. Maybe if I start talking, people will just start joining. What's going on, guys? Tonight I am covering basically any questions anybody has about joining the military or any military-related questions. I guess I just want to lay out beforehand, this isn't a political discussion place, so please try to keep those things at a minimal. So basically my chats are pretty interactive. Feel free to use the chat function and add anything in the text that is what you guys want to talk about, any step in the process, deciding which branch to go in, recruiting, ASVAB, MEPS, basic training, reception, AIT, reserve life, military life, parenting while in the military. I mean, this is pretty much all you can, anything you could ask. I will try my best to give you the proper information and hopefully set you up for at least having some knowledge prior to whatever decision you decide to make. So if you guys want to just say hello, kind of start steering the conversation, I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Aaron. I'm a sergeant in the United States Army Reserve. I've been in the Army now for about 10 years, and I joined when I was 18 years old, and I got out for stupid reasons, and I had to wait 13 years, and I got back in the Army in 2017 when I was 31 years old, and I've been in the Army since. I did go in the IRR, which is an active ready reserve, for about 2 years. I was coming up on my ETS date. ETS means like you're finally done. I was coming close to that date, and I decided that I wasn't ready to be done yet. So I went down to, I reached out to a career counselor, and I extended my contract at first. I extended by 9 months. And then after I came back in, I decided that I wanted to keep serving, and I wanted to be able to pass on my educational benefits to my son. So I decided to sign a 4-year contract extension, and I'm in year 1 of that. So I have about 3 years left on my contract. By the time I'm done with that, I'll have about 12 or 13 years, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. So basically open up the floor. If there's anybody in here that's thinking about joining, anybody that's already in, anybody has questions, if you're in high school and you're thinking about joining, if you're older and you're thinking about joining, this is an open forum. I've been in every situation when it comes to trying to enlist, being at different ages, kind of different stages emotionally and mentally that you're at. So there's no dumb questions. My goal is to be able to answer in real time. Honestly, it's easier to be able to have a forum like this where I can actively just have a conversation, answer questions in real time, rather than you guys going online, searching Reddit or searching AI for answers, when I can hopefully give you real life situations and answers. How's it going, Micah? Thank you for commenting and saying hello. Are you thinking about joining? Are you already in? Are you just inquiring about military life? What brings you here today? Again, there is no dumb questions. So if you feel like there's something silly you want to ask, feel free to ask it, because it's better to know and then not think about it. This obviously is a big decision if you decide that you want to enlist. So I'll open it up to, I guess, the floor. Just kind of in what you're talking about. Are you thinking about joining the military, or just curious about what military life is like? Good afternoon. When you got promoted to sergeant, did you go corporal or did you get started after specialist? So I was a specialist for a while. So I actually got my bachelor's degree before I enlisted. Um, I joined again because I didn't feel like I was making a difference in the world. I got my bachelor's degree, and then I decided that I wanted to serve again. So when I enlisted, I got automatic E4 specialist. I did that for a while. I originally got out in IRR, I was still a specialist, and they changed the rules. So when I came back in, if you were at a certain level and you were green across the board, they promoted you to sergeant. So I was never a corporal. I was really excited to finally not be a full bird private anymore. So, how you doing, Zane? How do I get in again? Which process do you want to know? Do you want to know the original process or the trying to get back in process? So it's actually a Greg Norman golf shirt. So it's a pressure wicking. But yeah, going from specialist to sergeant was definitely a big step. It was a big milestone for me. Um, Being able to finally get rid of that shield and wear the chevrons was huge to me. I've always been in leadership roles on the civilian side. I managed restaurants and I've led teams on the outside. So finally be able to put on my chevrons and be a example and hopefully help other soldiers become better versions of themselves. Um, did I have to go to leadership school after getting promoted to sergeant? So I will need to go to school to become a staff sergeant, but that might be coming next year. I guess this is one of the topics I'll discuss. One of the difficulties about being a reservist is so when you're active duty, going to these schools is a little easier because you're full-time Army and that's your job. So going to a school isn't any different than showing up to work every day. Just you might go to a different base or you might be doing something different. But when you're a reservist, like myself, your primary job is your primary focus and being a family. So like for myself, I have a full-time career. I'm a full-time single dad. So being a reservist makes it hard to be able to go to schools like that because those schools are 100% in person and they're about 3 to 4 weeks. So it takes a level of commitment. It takes you out of your job. It takes you away from your children, your family. So it is hard in that regards, but yes, they do want you to go to leadership school to become staff sergeant. Honestly, I think about the fact that like the promotion of sergeant, and I've been around a lot of soldiers, and I think a lot of soldiers are not meant to be leaders. And I know back in the day they used to have the specialist corps. So basically, you become a specialist at E4, and there used to be two different ranks in the military. So you both go up through PFC, and then I think you'd get to specialist. Because E4 is you can be either a specialist or a corporal. Corporal is if you've taken your leadership courses, but you don't have the time in to be a sergeant. And sergeant is promoted once you have the points and you have the time in service. So again, like they used to have the different ranks. So you could go from E4, you could be like a spec 5. So you'd be a specialist and you could be a specialist 5, specialist 6, specialist 7. Like it used to go up to the same rank as master sergeant, but they just weren't leaders. They were just technicians and good at their job. I kind of wish they would go back to that a little bit because there's definitely people that aren't meant to be leaders but are really good at their jobs. Your grandpa was a corporal in World War II. Well, thank you for his service. That's the greatest generation. I'm so grateful for that generation of service members and the sacrifices that they made and standing up to one of the worst dictators in history. Yeah, I mean, I hated being a specialist. It was kind of a weird thing, like when I was in basic training, being a specialist, because it kind of made you it kind of put an unnecessary target on your back or on your front, being a specialist in basic training because you're an E4, and they expect certain more out of you. I almost wish I could have just taken that rank off because it's not like it was earned at that point. But I did try to go CS afterwards. I did try to switch over to the officer ranks. But one of the reasons why I didn't get promoted sooner was because I was going through a corp battle on the outside and I gained a lot of weight and I got flagged. So I'm actually fighting losing weight right now. I'm down about, since December, I'm down 21 pounds. So it's an ongoing battle and we'll see what the future comes. They still offer waivers, so there's still a chance I could become the officer route or maybe even go warrant officer. But I got to figure out if I want to stay another. I mean, because by the time I'm done with this contract, I'll be at like 12 or 13 years, and I'll have like 7 or 8 more years to get to retirement. But I guess I'll figure that out when I'm a lot closer. My grandfather was in the Navy as well during World War One. He actually got blinded when his ship got hit. And then my uncle was in Vietnam. The crazy part is my uncle went through Vietnam, got through safely. Then he came home, and that's where some stupid soldier decided that he was going to try to steal munitions, and he blew up his barracks on accident trying to do it. So he ended up getting a Purple Heart back at home, which is so incredibly stupid. But I mean, unfortunately, the military is full of not smart people. So they make everything dummy proof. There's pictures to associate for everything you're supposed to do in the military. When it comes to safety, there's always a safety brief. They tell you what to do, what not to do. The weapons say aim at this, and not at this. So did your grandpa, did he ever talk about the war? Was he one of the ones that just didn't say anything? I think it was a little different for that generation. I know people a lot of people didn't talk about their experiences. And the crazy part is that like now it's kind of like the opposite. Like it used to be back then, like people didn't talk about their problems because they didn't want to be perceived as like weak or that it just wasn't appropriate to talk about what you went through. And now it's like you have all the people that are on social media writing books about, I guess, stolen valor, basically talking about missions that never really happened and events that never really happened. Luckily, those kind of things are going away, and some of those people are being found out. But honestly, it's so stupid. Like, just be proud of the service you have. Like, when I tell people, I'm like, there's literally only less than 1% of the population actually serves in the military, and like, people don't care if you have a stupid job, and like everybody feels like they have to overhype what they do. I'm a paralegal. It's not a sexy job. I enjoy it. It's pretty interesting, but like it's not. I'm not Captain America. I'm not out there doing anything like crazy. But people just need to embrace the service that they have and not feel like they have to. Like all these guys, like pretend like they're Navy SEALs or Special Forces or Marine Recons, like, and they know it's okay that you're just a cook or you're just a supply specialist or something like that. Too many people, too much pressure on them to like feel like they have to impress everybody else. So anybody that's in the chat, if you're thinking about joining, if you have questions about the military in general, feel free to kind of come in and say whatever you want. My goal is to be able to help as many people as I can. So feel free to ask away. I do have a lot of military content on my channel. It's mainly about being reservist, about joining later in life, in your 30s. What is the strongest gun you used? I've shot a 50 cal before. I've shot an M249. That's a pretty powerful gun. It shoots like 300 rounds a minute. Shot an AT-4 missile. It's funny, I've shot so many weapons, but I've never shot a pistol. Kind of weird. We were actually at the range a couple weeks ago, and they let us, we had so much extra ammunition, they let us shoot it all. Does the reserves do the annual training like the National Guard? Yes. So, I mean, different units are set up differently. Like for my unit's not a normal unit. I'm in a JAG unit, which is a legal operations team. So it's all lawyers and paralegals. And basically we split our 2 weeks throughout the year. So like, if there's like missions that do like where we need to go do legal assistance, we'll go do those missions and those count as part of our 2 weeks. But then you have other units like basically any other embedded unit that has like multiple MOSs in it, multiple type of people. They'll have 2 weeks in the summer, and they'll go to like different places and conduct training and stay up to date and everything. But yeah, they do 2 weeks, just like the National Guard. I don't know if you know the difference between National Guard and reserves, but I mean they're both technically the Army. National Guard is state funded, and they serve the state first and foremost. So in national disasters, riots, stuff like that, National Guard's called up for service, whereas the reserves are federal and can only be utilized for federal campaigns. So like technically, federally means like we're not allowed to do operations in the United States. So like federal forces, reserves, active duty can't be used for police forcing. That's why you see the National Guard doing some of those missions locally, because they're trained and they're authorized to do homeland stuff. So I don't know if that answered the question or not. No, I've not gotten shot by. I've never been overseas. I say that fortunately and unfortunately. I originally joined back in 2004. I joined because of 9/11, and I had the urge to serve, just like a lot of the people I graduated with. And that was in 2004, so that was like right at the height of Iraq. And then I came back in 17, and we were still at war with Afghanistan for another 4 years. I never went over. It's always kind of like the thing, like I wish I would have gone, because I feel like I didn't like, I don't have the real story. But then at the same time, it's like you see the people that come home and they're all messed up from stuff. But I never went overseas. I did go to Germany and serve there for a little bit, but that was 85 years after we were there for war. So no, I've never been shot. No Purple Heart for me. Anybody else have any questions? So if you guys want to subscribe, I do have a lot of military videos, kind of going through my experiences. Also, if you guys like dad jokes, I say dad jokes every single day. So if you want a good laugh, feel free to check out my channel and see. I'll put my I'm gonna put my my dad joke video in the chat. Maybe you guys can check it out if you like it. Let's see. Was Germany? So Chris, what branch did you serve in, or what branch are you in? Micah, as I said when I left. So I enlisted twice. I enlisted when I was 18 years old, and Your Army? Well, thank you for your service, Chris. How long have you been out for? When did you serve? 11 Charlie. So that's combat arms. Is that artillery? So the first time I enlisted, you're asking if I was sad when I left. So I originally joined when I was 18. I kind of lied about having asthma to come home for a girl, and I pretty much immediately regretted the decision, and I was embarrassed and ashamed. And I kind of had survivor's guilt at the point too. Like I didn't. My thought process was I went through basic training. I met all these soldiers. They graduated, probably went to Iraq, and I went home, and that stuck with me for a long time. And going all the way through basic training, not graduating, not being able to claim being a soldier, even though that was like 6 months of my life. Um, and then coming home and not being able to claim any of the time, it really, it was really hard on me. And I tried to join every other branch afterwards. Like I think the first branch I tried to join again afterwards was the Army, and they said no. They said I had to wait 2 years. So in the meantime, I tried to get back in because I knew I made a mistake. I tried to join the Marine Corps. Basically, I went and talked to a Marine Corps recruiter. I was going through the process. The Marine Corps is a little different than the Army. In the Army, you get to choose your MOS or your military occupational specialty. And the Marine Corps, you choose a field. Like you choose like a basically like you can pick like a field of like 10 or 20 different jobs, and then they fill their spots based on the needs of the Marine Corps. And they basically told me that you're gonna go up to MEPS tonight, you're gonna join, and you're not gonna be able to pick your job, and it's whatever the Marine Corps needs. I'm like, well, the whole point of me joining is that I can kind of use this as a stepping stone to where I want to be. And basically, when I said that, the recruiter told me to go f off. So so basically, that didn't happen. I tried to join the other branches. I tried to join the Navy. I tried to join the Air Force. I tried to join the National Guard, Air National Guard. Uh, I tried all of them multiple times. Every time I tried to go, I couldn't get a waiver. Um, and they just kept saying no and no and no and no. I probably tried, I kid you not, like 20, 25 times to get back in. And the crazy part is that the first time I joined, it took me like 7 times to get in, like the first time, because I was always like a pound overweight. And then when I did tape test, I was always like a percentage over, so I couldn't get in. So I was basically like, if you ever seen Captain America when he keeps getting like the 4F and he can't enlist, that was basically my life for a while. And then thankfully in 2017 I tried the process again, and they let me go up to MEPS, and I was able to do all of my waivers, and eventually they said, hey, you can re-enlist. Let me go back through so I was very sad when I left, and it was a really good redemption arc once I finally got back in. Before you get discharged, love you, Charlie. Evan, what does WSP stand for? Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining again. It's good to see you again. How hard was the scale of 10? When you say how hard was it, do you mean basic training? Do you mean not being in? What unit did I work with? So I'm in a legal operations detachment, and we work alongside with 10th Mountain Division. So I've done some work with 10th Mountain. When I was in Germany, I was in Hoenfells, and I worked with 7 ATC, Army Training Command. They help train other NATO nations. Discharged in AIT, part of OSU due to EPTS. Yeah, so my first one was EPTS. We talked before about this, right? And you're trying to get back in. Is that still something you're trying to do? Or if you're just somebody that has a similar story. But I think I remember you. What is ye life? What's my favorite branch? When you say favorite branch, there's 2 different meanings. Do you mean like Army, Marine Corps, Navy, that? Or do you mean like in the Army, we have different branches. Like there's infantry, there's signal, there's artillery, there's engineering, there's legal, there's medical. What do you mean by branch? Indirect fire infantryman. So indirect fire infantryman, does that mean you're like a saw gunner? How did you like Germany? Honestly, I was there. I was in Germany for for an ODT. It's an overseas deployment training. Basically, reserves. They have Germany. They have Korea, Japan, Italy. So originally I went over and I was at Hoenfells, which is in Bavaria, Germany. And there's Vilsec and Rose Barracks. But then I got moved up to Hoenfells, which is about an hour north of there, right near the Czech border. So I was there. The person that was there to show for me, kind of be like my sponsor soldier there, he got sick, so I was kind of on my own. And we were up in the mountains, and they don't let you drive when you're reservist overseas, because they want to know where you are and have you be accountable. And nothing was close together, and it was in the mountains. So, I mean, it was pretty cool. It kind of sucked at the same time too, but sorry if I didn't make the question clear. Have you watched? What is Yi life? A mortarman? Okay, so the thing goes thump. Yep. Yeah, I remember being in Hoenfells, or not, when I was at Grafenveer. They had either an artillery range nearby or a tank range. And I remember just waking up and I hear boom, boom, boom. And it sounded like the world was shaking. That was pretty intense. It's like it's like a challenge to see what type of gun can I break through a Senate thing. I don't really understand what that means. Micah, how old are you? Are you like, I feel like kids always infiltrate my live streams. Please don't tell me you're like 8 years old. Let's see what Gemini says this is. What is ye life? Popular YouTube channel centered around themes of faith, freedom, and firearms. The brand Ye was originally founded by brothers Grindler. You're 16. So are you thinking about enlisting, Micah? Is the Army Challenge Reserves different from the ones in basic? So I mean, some embedded units have like some units have chef or cooks, so they make food. If we're in the field, we MREs usually, but in the reserves, you're basically like, I mean, basically once you finish your job, it's like having, or once you finish AIT, if you're not like an infantryman, your job is more like a real 9 to 5 job. So basically we get there in the morning, we do our PT around 6 a.m., get done around 7:30, do our hygiene. After we do that, we can go get breakfast, and that's usually on you to go get it. They also do the same thing for lunch. If you're on base or if you're somewhere where you're during active time, there's a DFAC, which is a dining facility. You can get food like that. So. I mean, technically you can enlist at 17, so I mean, like you're right on the cusp. Like when I first started thinking about joining the military, I think I was in 9th grade when I started thinking about it. I originally wanted to join the Air Force, but that was prior to 9/11 though. That was like 2000. My dad was in the Air Force, and I thought, for some reason, I thought the uniforms are cool. And I liked the brochures. I honestly still might go Air Force before it's all said and done. I might go talk to a recruiter, and finish out my career in the Air Force. I mean, I'm a paralegal, 27 Delta. I think. Let's see. What is the equivalent to a 27 Delta in the Air Force? The Air Force MOSs are really strange. Like the Army's really easy. Like I'm a 27 Delta, and the Air Force is a 5 Juliet Oscar X-ray 1. It's really crazy. So I'd probably just switch over to paralegal in the Air Force as well. What is the scariest thing you came across in the Army? Let's see. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I remember being really scared when I first joined. So back in 2004, because basic training was a little different back then than it is now. Now it's a little, if I'm being honest, a little softer. They used to put the fear of God in us, so I was terrified of our drill sergeants. They'd wake us up in the middle of the night and they're like, all right, privates, we're about to put a light coat of sweat on the walls. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think it kind of shows in your current, it kind of shows in the current service members. You can see a lot of it, that not having that basis of the hardness and the breaking the civilian mentality. You can definitely see it in the current in the formation. What is my favorite unit? So I really like 10th Mountain Division. I mean, I've worked with them, but I mean, I really like. I don't know. It's hard. The units I've been around are the only ones I really know. So I mean, 10th Mountain's like the most deployed unit. Was the most deployed unit during Afghanistan. But I mean, obviously, the 75th Ranger Regiment's pretty cool. 101st is cool. Screaming Eagles. 82nd Airborne. But the biggest problem with the Army is that most of the bases aren't in good places. And a lot of the reason why that is because if you know about the different military branches, they serve different purposes. So like the mission of the Army is being an occupying force. So the way it's supposed to work is we take the place by air, we move in, we set up a base, and we basically build a complex, a city, and we occupy the country. Marine Corps, their job is to storm beaches and take places by brute force. But the funniest thing is, I always point out to the Marine Corps is that your guys' sole mission is to storm beaches, and the Army has the biggest, most successful beach storming in history, which was D-Day last week. And then obviously Air Force is flying in and out, so they kind of align with where Army bases are, and obviously Navy's on ports. Do I believe in God? Yes, I do. I have a strong faith background. I believe everything happens for a reason, and I trust God and His path that He has for me. Was the drill sergeant scary in 2004, 2017? 2004, it's not even close. Basically, in 2004, I'll put the reference of difference. So in 2004, I went into basic training. I weighed 214 pounds. When I finished, I was 184 pounds. So I lost, how much is that? 14, like 35 pounds I lost in basic training in the first time. And the second one, I only lost, I think, 10 pounds total. So, I mean, they were smoking. So they call corrective training smoking unofficially. They used to smoke us all the time, and it was never specific numbers. It was always a certain amount of time. They would tell us that they had to give us breaks, but really the breaks were like 15 seconds long. We used to sweat, go to muscle failure all the time. It was terrifying. And we were terrified of our drill sergeants all the time. 2017, they tried to be what they were, but it wasn't the same. Not even close. I got more sleep in 2017 than I did in 2004. What's the strongest unit in my opinion? I mean, probably a 75th Ranger Regiment, and obviously Special Forces teams. 75th is definitely I would say probably the elite unit. But then you have Delta operators, but you don't know where they are, so. I don't even know what the Special Force, what units. So I guess the Special Forces is only in groups. So I guess if you're talking about units as a whole, I'd probably say a 75th Ranger Regiment, 82nd, 101st, obviously 10th Mountains, really good. I mean, they're all different. They all serve different purposes. But your 75th is like your hoo-ah guys. Do they have a PX or commissary in your reserve units building? No, there's no. I mean, reserve units are usually sprinkled throughout civilian towns and stuff like that. So, but back in the day, they did have little shopettes inside of them for bigger reserve units. Some reserve bases or reserve units their buildings are right outside of active duty installations, so they'll just utilize those. You got some good questions for not being in. I'm impressed. Oh, Chris. I mean, the nice thing now too is that you can order pretty much anything online. like if you go to Shop My Exchange, if you're in, or if you're a veteran, you can use the exchange website to order uniforms. Usually when I'm on base, I'll go to the commissary and buy food. It's cheaper there. So Chris, where are you in your re-enlistment process? Have you talked to a recruiter again? Are you in the process of applying for waivers? What's your status? $2027. When so you just got out in 2025 last year? Because I think after I got my EPTS, I had 2 years, but it was a pain in the ass. Jogging at 0.5. That's some determination. Let's see. What rank? So, what rank were you when you got discharged? Because I don't know if you can move up in rank before you go back in. Because that was one of the reasons why I didn't go OCS right outside of your E1. Let's see. Let's see what the internet says. To get back in, can you move up in rank or stay the same rank as you were discharged? So it says if you have an associate's degree that you can move up. Because when I originally got discharged, I was an E1 as well. And then when I re-enlisted in 2017, I got automatic E4. Have I ever thought about doing martial arts? So part of basic training is you do kind of like a mixed combat level thing, and you can get pretty high in there. I have thought about doing some martial arts just to get in shape and just have general like better mobility. But you do combatives in the military, well, at least in the Army, and I think Marine Corps does jiu-jitsu or some sort of it. Did I ever see anyone from basic training out for it later in life? So I'm actually friends with my battle buddy on Facebook. We stay in touch. It's kind of funny. So back in '04, we're out in the field, and my buddy farts, and it kind of made the drill sergeant mad. So he smoked him, and like you kind of always kind of step up and do what your battle buddy is doing. So I went down and got smoked with him, just to have that like the camaraderie. But the drill sergeant like walks on. He's like, "Private, when you're around me, keep your ass closed." So yeah, I still talk to him. I have come across some of the other guys. Aging is definitely weird. You know, I was in '04, and some of the people I served with look really old. But I still talk to people I went to basic training with and AIT with back in 2017. I think one of the weird parts was like seeing people that like were lower ranked than me, and then like I was still a specialist, and like my one buddy was a staff sergeant, and now he's a sergeant first class. So it was kind of weird seeing that, and like obviously with like how you talk to people, like I understand at parade rest and all that. So right now I'm a black belt, 5th degree Shaolin Kempo martial arts expert. Martial arts. Is that even real? Let's see. Hold on. Black belt. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you end up joining there, you could be like a combatives expert, and you get to go to like competitions and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Then after my class, summer classes. Now appreciate the motivation, sir. Keep doing what you're doing. Man, good luck. Good luck with class. Those are hard. I mean, I think school was harder than any job I've ever had. So keep your head down. Keep pushing along. Keep chugging. Stay motivated. There's gonna be times where you're gonna get down and you're gonna feel like quitting. But if serving is really your passion and you really want it, push yourself. Don't take no for an answer, because you might hear no a bunch of times. They might even say you're rejected for your waiver and you have to wait a certain amount of time. But if you really want to do it, push yourself, stay motivated. Good things can happen. Like I said, they told me no like 30 times and I finally got in. So keep your head up, keep your head down in the studies. Good things are going to come your way. I'll pray for you. And I pray that you get the answers that you want. And I pray you finish your degree and you build a good life for yourself. And thank you. I appreciate the kind words too. I'll be around, so I'll be having some more live streams in the coming weeks too. So yeah, you're welcome. I'd like to go viral, but honestly, I think kind of in my little niche of YouTube, it's hard to go viral because I talk about so many different things. Like I talk about parenting, I talk about military, I talk about faith, I talk about grief and loss, and my channel is a little bit of everything. So when I first started YouTube, I do dad jokes of the day, so I do one every single day, and like the fourth one I did got like 35,000 views for a short. And like since then, I don't think I've had one that's gone even come close to that for, let me see. What is the most I have for? Yeah, so the 4th episode I had of my dad jokes when I got 34,000 views on it. And then my next dad joke that ranked the highest was 5.1 thousand. A couple weeks ago, I had one that had 4.4 thousand. But all of them are around like 4,000. Like that's usually like the cap of where I end up. Kind of frustrating. Like I would like to have some go viral. I mean, my ascent on YouTube has been kind of like, it's been a slow burn. I still have more videos than I do subscribers, but we'll see if I get there. It's actually been jumping considerable in the last couple weeks. Yeah, so when I first started making my channel, it was I had that confusion of like, do I make multiple different channels for different subjects I am? Do I do one channel? And what I ultimately ended up with is that like I'm building a brand for myself. So like if you go on my page, I have a bunch of different logos and designs for different aspects of my channel. You know, all the things I talk about are things that make me who I am. So I'm basically building a brand of who I am. Like I have the dad jokes to kind of like cater to everybody, kind of be my daily part, make people laugh. But then I have other parts of me, and all those things that I do make me who I am. So I decided to stick with just one page. I might branch off next year into like a second channel for like different stuff. So like I want to do one with my son, like doing all the adventures that we do, but I don't really want to put it on the same page where I'm talking about like death and dying and all those type of things. So I would like to kind of separate that and make like the kid friendly, kid fun, family fun like stuff to be on that page, and then keep my more serious topics to this page. So the problem is though, like I have a full-time job and I have the military, so like even doing this little part takes up a lot of time. Like this is like it's honestly like a full-time job. Like I probably commit like 20 or 30 hours a week just to my YouTube like content. And then it's very discouraging, but one thing I've learned about myself is that I'm always willing to go against the grain for what people tell me I can't do. Let's see. Mega Mix Rubik's Cube. I mean, I've done a Rubik's Cube before. It's like an 80s toy. Hello, I see I got a new person on. This is kind of an open forum. I kind of just go with the direction of which you guys want to talk about. So if you're new and you want to talk about something military related, if you have questions about joining, feel free to jump in the chat and let me know what your questions are, what stage you are, if you're thinking about joining, if you served, if you're serving. Yeah, I've definitely never finished a Rubik's Cube. I think I've maybe gotten like 3 sides or 2 sides, but like I see the people that juggle and they'll solve them while they're juggling. It's absolutely insane. I feel like I would just take all the stickers off and change it. Hey guys, so I see I got some new people on. Feel free to put your name in the chat. Feel free to put anything in the chat about your questions about the military, or if you're thinking about joining, you have questions. This is an open forum to be able to talk about anything that you have questions about. My job is to help you get to where you need to be. So I see I got a new person. Feel free to say something in the chat. So Michael, what are you thinking about after high school? Are you thinking about military? Are you thinking about college? Or don't you know what you want to do yet? Hey guys, I see I got some new viewers on. Feel free to ask any questions you have about the military. I'm a sergeant in the United States Army Reserve, and I want to be able to help. Although I'm enlisting in the National Guard in about a week and a half. Right now, I stumbled upon your stream. Awesome. What job are you thinking about doing? What made you decide to go National Guard? Any questions you have? I mean, obviously it showed up on your feed if you clicked on me. So thank you for stopping in and saying hello. Unfortunately, now that you came into my stream, you've been entered into the military. So I apologize that you came here. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. I mean, you can sign when you turn 17 if your parents approve of it. Marine Corps is a good choice. I have a lot of friends that served in the Marine Corps. A lot of them have come over to the Army after their second enlistment. What makes you want to be a Marine? Do you have family members that were Marines? Is it the uniform? Is it the what it represents? I'd like to be a chaplain assistant, 56 Mike. I just had to go guard because I'm currently a college student, so I can't go active duty. I wanted to join since. So what made you want to go active duty, or what made you want to go National Guard as opposed to Reserve? Because they are a little different. And I actually wanted to be a chaplain myself. After I got done, before my custody stuff, I wanted to be a chaplain. I was going through the process and going through ordained because when I was going to the chaplain was probably the biggest help going through some of the hardest points in my life. So, I mean, the chaplains have a lot of benefits to them, and they've honestly given me some of the best help I could have asked for. Chaplain assistant is a pretty cool job. I mean, you're basically a chaplain's bodyguard. Your job is basically to make sure that nothing happens to him, and you're basically his personal bodyguard. So that's pretty cool. Your grandpa was a Marine for 4 years. I'm mainly tired of being lazy, scrawny gamer, and whenever I try to work out, it's never consistent, but also for a head start in life. I mean, you're definitely gonna get the motivation if you join. They're definitely gonna motivate you and definitely gonna push you past the limits that you're aware of right now. But if you want it, go for it. I mean, it's hard. Just know that it's not going to be easy. But if you can get that mindset that you're willing to do that, I mean, there's nothing that you can't handle. Actually, I don't know much about the reserves. I've only been taught about active duty National Guard, so reserves was never something I was really educated about. My recruiter said they're almost the same, but so recruiter's job is to get people in. So this is why I kind of want to have these. I'm not a recruiter, but I want you to be educated and know the most about it. So National Guard, Reserve. National Guard is state run, state funded. They run state missions. So if there's a storm, if there's a riot, they can be activated to do basically any state ran missions. They can be brought up to active duty for deployment overseas. So that's one function, but they're state funded and they're state run, and all their stuff is state side. Reserves is federal, so like active duty, reserves are part of the active duty component. So like active duty reserves were federal, so we can't operate within the United States. So basically, we can't conduct any operations, any missions within the confines of the United States. Obviously, we can conduct training, but we can't be utilized within the United States. National Guard can. They can be activated for state. But they're a lot similar for the structure of you do 1 week in a month. You both go to basic training. Army, or active duty, National Guard, and reserves are all in basic training together. Let me. Actually, I'm a little worried about MAPS expectations since my physical is on the 29th. How do you just building up tolerance for the running and the weight sections? What are you worried about MAPS? Like, what's the biggest thing you're worried about? Oh, thanks, GTF. I appreciate you. I got plenty of videos on military. I have these live streams. Feel free to come on here, ask questions. I'm not a Marine, but I have Marine friends. So if you have questions regarding the Marine Corps, I might not have an answer for you right away, but I can get one. How would I suggest building your tolerance for running in the weight sections? I mean, honestly, like the best thing you can do to get yourself ready for basic training is just don't feel like you have to be a marathon runner right out the gate, because it's just not possible. Just start so you're not even enlisted yet. So I mean, this is a good stage to get yourself started. My best suggestion is if you have a local high school, just go out and start walking, and then start jogging, and just get comfortable with being able to do those exercises. Don't focus on like a certain time. Don't focus on a certain speed. Go out, run a half lap. Tomorrow, run a full lap. Next day, run another full lap. Next day, do another full lap. And then start doing a little more. Run 1 lap, walk 1. Run 1, walk 1. Just little stuff like that gets your body used to doing the movements. And I think that I'm assuming you're a female Deli Mumu. I'm assuming that by looking at your name, but I could be wrong. But it's based on your minimum standards. I think it's 140 pounds for the deadlift. I mean, just go to the gym if you can. Just start deadlifting. I know we use hex bars in the Army, but you can just start going to a Smith machine and just practice. Do 5 pounds. Next week, do 10 pounds. I mean, you're not going to get the basic training. They're not going to be expecting you to meet the standards on the first day. That's the whole reason why you have basic training, is to kind of break those civilian habits and build you into the soldier you're going to be. Best way to get yourself ready is just start doing, like, do core exercises, do push-ups. Get down, do 1 push-up. Tomorrow, do another push-up. Next day, do 2 push-ups, and then gradually build your strength up. Don't feel like you have to do everything at one time, because if you do that, the problem is you're gonna get discouraged, because it's gonna be a struggle if you try to do it all at once. But if you're able to gradually build yourself up, when you do get the basic training, at least your body will be used to doing physical movements that you won't be lagging behind, and you'll gradually progress as you go through, and they'll have you do the exercises that you're gonna do, and you'll be comfortable with it. Not good running. I did about an hour of cardio today, treadmill and Jacob's ladder, alongside running a few laps in my college indoor track, but it really winded me. So, again, don't try to do too much out the gate, because trying to do too much at once, you're going to strain yourself. You're going to push yourself beyond your limits. Your goal is to have a gradual buildup. So, again, jog a half lap, jog a full lap, walk. Do a little more jogging. Do intervals. If you get bored doing that, one day do sprints. Do like 20-yard sprints. Do 10 of them. Like, do stuff that's fun, that you can commit to, that you can do over and over again. That's not going to make you lose. That initial poor cardio wall it's real. And it just takes time to build that stamina, but you have plenty of time. Yeah, you're welcome, and I hope you just for your benefit, maybe talk to a reserve recruiter too. Um, it's not like you're committing to one thing or another, but at least you'll be the most educated you can be and make the informed decision. Because I've had a lot of friends that went National Guard that regretted it. I've had a lot of friends that went reserve that regretted it. I've had friends that went net or active duty and they regretted it. This is the time to do what's best for you and find out the facts and figure out what's best and how you're going to kind of move forward with your career. Don't let a recruiter push you into doing something you don't want to do. Their goal is to make numbers, and right now the numbers suck, so they're going to say anything they want that they need to get you to enlist. So just be cognizant of that part. The worst thing I always tell people, I mean, the chaplain assistant thing is pretty cool. I would probably do that if I could as well. But I always tell people, I'm like, this is going to be the biggest decision you make, and job satisfaction is really important. So make sure you do your research. Make sure it's something you really want to do. Make sure that you'd be happy doing that. I always tell people, like, don't tie your job to an enlistment bonus. If that was even a consideration what you were thinking about, because there's a reason why there's a bonus associated with jobs, because they suck, and they want people to join, so they have them do like ammo specialist, which is, I can imagine doing that. But just do your homework. Everything else is a progression. Just a little tonight before you go to bed, do a push-up, do a crunch, do planks. That'd be my best advice. Do the runs, do jogging, do some sprints, but don't feel like you have to go out and run 2 miles. Start doing push-ups. 1 push-up tonight, 2 push-ups tomorrow night, 3 push-ups next night, or even progress the other way. Do planks, because on the PT test, you're gonna do deadlifts, you're gonna do planks, you're gonna do sprint drag carry. So just getting used to like weights, get used to just picking up 45-pound weights, because you're gonna have to do the sprint drag carry, and you gotta do 45-pound dump or kettlebells. So if you go to the gym, just pick up 45-pound kettlebells. Just get used to those being in your arms. Get used to holding those. That's gonna help you. So I know you get the financial aspect. Are you in high school or are you in college? Freshman in college. When are you going to basic, or what's your goal to go to basic training? Are you planning to go take a semester off? Or are you planning on going? So I know based on, did you take your ASVAB yet? I can't afford my sending semesters. I'm gonna do a split program with my basic and AT. What was your score in your ASVAB? If you don't mind me asking. That's awesome. You pretty much qualify for any job you want in the military. Yeah. So usually with that score, when you sign, you usually get. I mean, if you're eligible for a bonus, you might get one. But don't let the bonus be the reason why you like. They're gonna try to push you towards taking another job that has a high bonus because they need that position filled. So if your heart's set on being a chaplain's assistant, make sure that's what you walk out of that building with, and feel free to say no. You can say no. You can come back. It's not the end of the world. End of the you're joining the military if you don't sign that day. So just keep that in mind. But with an 88 score, I mean, usually you get a kicker, which is, so you get your GI Bill, the post 9/11, then you get usually tuition assistance, and based on the score that you get on the ASVAB, you can also get a kicker, which is like an additional amount each month. So like when I enlisted, I already had my bachelor's degree though when I enlisted, so I'm trying to get past my education benefits onto my son so he can not have to worry about student loans like I do. Still can't make sense of the fact that like I can't use my GI Bill to pay off student loans because I feel like being educated makes me a better soldier, but that's not here or there. But yeah, you'll probably get additional funds each month for having such a high score. And if down the road you want to go officer or anything, you don't want to go Seaburn. You want to spend your time in the gas chamber? Gas chamber's horrible. Because Seaburn stands for chemical, biological, radioactive, nuclear. Yeah. Yeah. Do your research. Go through the jobs. I mean, when I picked my job, I decided what job I wanted that I thought could translate into the civilian world and what I was interested in. So I got my degree in communication and public relations. So before I decided to go reserves, I was going to go active duty, and my goal was either do 35 Foxtrot, which was Intel analyst. I thought about doing public affairs specialist, which would have been like the Armed Forces Network. I thought about doing, what was the other one? I can't remember. I think human intel analyst, human intelligence collector, I think. And I chose paralegal because it was something I could translate into the civilian world. So really like all things nuclear, I almost went into the Air Force in hopes of having a job related to that. So if you want to go to the Air Force with an 88 ASVAB, why wouldn't you just go talk to an Air Force recruiter? Like I said, you haven't signed the papers yet. Don't rush your decision. Like everyone feels like they have to rush it and get it over with. With an 88, you're pretty marketable. If you want to join Space Force, you could probably join Space Force. If you want to do Air Force, you'd qualify for the Air Force. You'd get any job you want. If you want to do nuclear, the Navy has nuclear. Our subs and ships are all nuclear. But in the Army, you'd be doing gas chamber, like gas stuff like that. The website feels not like too vague for my liking since it really doesn't really say what you go through in the job. Okay. What other jobs are you thinking about? Like what kind of what interests you? And you said your goal is to go active. Is your goal to go active duty? see. I went to. You want to go AGR or do you want to go active duty? Because there's a little bit of a difference. The reason why I'm asking you for, let's see, I've been to AGR is just the National Guard with 80 benefits that you guys settled down. My family's a little anxious to go full active duty. Recruiters' jobs are just to get you in. They'll say anything they want. The joke is that like they tell people that everybody gets a Camaro when they join, or everybody gets a Mustang or a Dodge Challenger. I don't want to talk bad about AGR, but I don't know. I mean, if you want to go active duty, if I could do it all over again, and if I didn't want to have a family, I was going to go active duty. But I would have went active duty, went somewhere cool. I mean, honestly, if you go AGR, you're going to be staying near home. I mean, what are you going to college for? And please don't take what I'm saying as like as a matter of fact. I'm just talking about what I know and what I've experienced and what I've seen. Like, what's your major? Would you want to be a chaplain? Because I was going to be a chaplain. That was my goal because my faith and all that. I dropped my packet for chaplain. I got into Liberty University for their program for getting ordained. I mean, you don't have to say, honestly, you don't have to stay Catholic if you're, I mean, no, that's a slippery slope. So I'm a non-denominational Christian. I was Catholic when I was a kid, and I kind of grew out of the ideas of Catholicism. But if you're non-denominational, you can obviously be a Christian chaplain. But I mean, if God is your calling and you want to serve, I got more from my chaplain than I got from a therapist, that I got from my civilian pastors. Like, as a chaplain, you have the ability to genuinely have a positive effect in a soldier's life. But honestly, if you went active duty, you'd be done and you could sign a 2-year contract. I mean, it's not like you're going to have kids right away. If your goal is to go active duty, National Guard's not the way to go because, again, when I told you National Guard is state-funded, state-run, and Reserve is federal. So National Guard's run by the state. So they're their own entity. So if you want to go active duty, the National Guard has to release you from your contract. And then you can sign a contract with active duty. But if they don't want to release you, then you're stuck being in the National Guard. Reserves seem kind of willing to allow people to go up and down, or up. So think about that too. Yeah, if you're a National Guard, you're stuck there pretty much. And you won't get promoted as fast because it's such a smaller organization. What state are you in? Pennsylvania. At least the Pennsylvania National Guard's a little bigger than. But honestly, I'd probably go talk to the Air Force, or I'd probably go talk to um, I'd probably go talk to a reserve recruiter, go talk to an Air Force recruiter. Um, don't pinhole yourself into something because somebody has promised you something. Unfortunately, you got to kind of look out for yourself, and you got to figure out and do some research and find what's best for you. Um, 'Cause I feel like I'm sound like I'm trying to discourage you. I'm not trying to discourage you. I know the game, and I've seen too many people get into positions that they can't get out of that they regret. 100%. You just gotta do your research, make sure you're comfortable with what you're signing. Uh, that's why I try to make this as like I try to be a resource to people that are thinking about joining and enlisting. I mean, I'm 40 now. I was an 18-year-old that was joining that didn't have any direction in life, and I re-enlisted at 31, where I kind of had an idea of what I was doing with my life, and I knew what I wanted, what I didn't want, and I made sure I got what I wanted. And I mean, it's not perfect, and there's things I dislike about it. There's things I love about it, but at the end, you gotta set yourself up for the best for you. Because again, job satisfaction is important. Organization is important. I mean, do you know for? I guess I'll ask this question. Do you know for a fact that when you enlist, you'll be guaranteed to be assigned to a chaplain? Because the problem I had is, so I'm a paralegal. So when I came out, I was assigned to a unit in Pennsylvania. And my first drill there, after I finished AIT, I get there and they didn't have a JAG attorney. So I was a paralegal, but I didn't have I didn't have a legal team to work under. So they tried to make me do like admin stuff. And I think you need to make sure that if you're going to take the chaplain's job, that you actually have a chaplain that you're underneath, and you're not just a chaplain that doesn't have a place to go, and then you're going and doing administration work. So I would look into that part too, because that's the part they don't tell you about. No, so what I mean is, like, you might get chaplain assistant as your job that you get. The problem is you got, because I think there's a shortage of chaplains. So what I mean is, like, if you get a job as a chaplain, are you gonna actually have a chaplain that's near you that you're actually underneath, and not just going to a unit that's supposed to have a chaplain that doesn't? Because then you get the job as training as a chaplain assistant, and you get to your unit, they don't need you as a chaplain assistant, and you're doing X, Y, and Z. Like, one thing they do for like my unit, for a legal unit, for like potential lawyers, is they have them go to the unit. So I mean, that might be beneficial if there's a unit nearby and you know which unit it is, to actually go to the unit and see, be like, hey, can I drill with you guys for a weekend? Um, and see if they actually have it and you can actually do what you're going to do. So the one downside of the military is that there's a lot of people that aren't, smart. Like right now, I re-enlisted with the idea that I was going to be passing my GI Bill on to my son. And now I can't get a straight answer of how much time do I have active time? How much am I going to qualify for this amount? And like everybody I talk to and the people that are supposed to be experts don't know what they're talking about. So like that's part of the problem in the military that I'll let you know about is some people say certain things and you get in and it's totally different. So uh, expect the worst, hope for the best, but just if you can control what you can control now. Let's see. I'll try to look into it more. Thank you. This might seem like a silly question. Is it even worth doing life insurance now? Um, I mean, life insurance is usually for your like kids. I mean, I guess if you want to take care of your parents, if something happens to you, you could do that too, and have them be your. Um, I mean, really, life insurance is only if you die to take care of the people you love. Like I have life insurance so that I can pass things on to my son if something happens to me. 18 years old, no. I mean, I'd be more worried about like investing into like a 401k or like start investing in like the stock market more than I would care about doing life insurance. Because if you enlist, you have to sign up for life insurance, like even like just the minimal. So, but on your own, no, you don't need to. Well, you're welcome. So I have tons of videos on my channel for military related content. If you have more questions, you can feel free to send me or comment on one of those videos. I think there's a message function now where you can actually message people too. If you have any questions, if there's anything you're wondering about, if you're hearing certain things, um, my goal is to put you guys in the best position you can. Uh, it's a hard process, and I think the lack of transparency by a lot of people in places that they should be is frustrating. And my goal is to get you in a place that's setting you up good for the rest of your life, because that's the dad in me. But also what I wish I would have been made aware of when I was a younger serviceman. So I wish you luck. I pray for you. I'm a devout Christian. I believe God has a plan for all of us. I believe that whatever you're supposed to do, God will deliver you to exactly where you need to be. I'm going to pray for your journey. I'm going to pray for your schooling. I'm going to pray for the rest of your semester, and that you get the answers you're looking for so that you can be happy and have a beautiful life and family. So I appreciate you watching. God bless you too. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it there. My dog has to go poop, so I'm going to take him outside. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you tonight. I plan to have these every couple weeks, so I'll put out when I'm going to do that. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I got plenty of military videos. I got my dad jokes of the day, so if you like laughing, feel free to subscribe and see if I can make you laugh. But I hope you guys have a good night. May God bless you and your families.